Hey guys, Nick Kosko, Mike Antosiewicz doing a little Rutgers wrestling recap. As always, Rutgers falls to Cornell tonight, 18-16. Came down close at the end in the second half. Unfortunately, Rutgers put themselves in a 15-3 hole at the intermission. A big turning point in that match, and Mike, we'll start here with that. Was the Gerard Angelo match right at 149. Angelo winning 3-1, goes for that big blast double, and then he gets caught as Richard just somehow turns back into him and then reattacks. Then Angelo is hanging on to the head there, and he caught himself. But then Richard brings him down to the mat, puts him on his back. That's a pin. So instead of a 12-3 lead, it ended up being a pin instead of a 3-point win, I should say. It ended up being a 6-point win for Cornell, and that ultimately was the big difference in the team score here tonight.
Absolutely, and you just felt it coming at some point in the match that Angelo could have gotten pinned. He was going over the top a bunch of times, and then he just froze. He went over the head. And when he was getting picked up, he still had a chance to bail out of it, and he just froze there. He's a young wrestler. He has plenty of chances to improve in his nascent career, but nonetheless, it was a very costly mistake tonight. But it wasn't just him, Nick. I think if you look at 141-2, Jojo Aragona,
right.
He was winning 3-0. I think he had 54 seconds of riding time.
Andy had a 4-2 lead late in the match as well, and then that's when he ends up getting taken down. Then, of course, not to harp on the negatives here, but we'll get them out of the way first. Aragona looked like he was going to win that match, and it wasn't just the 3-0 lead. It was that 4-2 lead. Gets taken down. He's on bottom now. All he needs to get out. He has 13 seconds to get out. Tied at 4. He gets out. He wins. And if he wins, Mike, Rutgers wins the team score as well. Then you take the 3 points off from Cornell, add 3 to Rutgers. They win 19-15. But Aragona gets tilted literally at the buzzer. There's about 3-4 seconds left. Yeah. He gets tilted. He gets a 2 count. All of a sudden, he loses 6-4, and he doesn't even have a chance in overtime.
And if you remember, they're scrambling, close stalemate. Okay, 11 seconds left. He has 11 seconds to get out, so doesn't have to. 11 seconds to go out, and he wins the match. Instead, what happens is he tries to get out, gets returned to the mat, tries to roll through, gets stuck, and then tilt. I mean, at the end, literally, as the referee did the second hand swipe, the buzzer expired. A really, really close match.
Absolutely. So one more loss we'll focus on real quick, but it's almost in a positive light with Sammy Alvarez, the true freshman at 133. He's ranked 11th in the country, lost to Chaz Tucker tonight, who's ranked number 5 in the country. Still undefeated now, Tucker is, but Alvarez lost that one 3-2, and the defense was absolutely tremendous. There was really no offense on both sides, and Tucker, if you weren't watching, scored the only takedown tonight off a danger call, so they're in a scramble position, Mike, as we noted. And when that happened, Alvarez's back was exposed for a longer than what you wanted. Tucker was, I would say, had the advantage in terms of the control, but there was no total control. Referee call, had that danger call, was Alvarez was scrambling with the leg, had that back exposed, but it was exposed long enough where you're going to get the takedown called there if you're Tucker, so all of a sudden he has the lead. We saw Coach Goodell, he was about to throw that challenge break, but then he said, you know what, they really don't overturn those calls, but other than that questionable takedown, Alvarez looked, I thought, fantastic, at least defensively. It just when you're facing a guy like Tucker, points are going to come at a premium anyway.
Alvarez wrestled wonderfully. I mean, just wonderfully. And I think in every phase, although obviously his offense could improve because he didn't score a takedown in this match, I also think he wrestled very well offensively. He was aggressive. He wasn't called for stalling at any point during the match. And that's because it was reciprocal. Every time Tucker went in, well, then there was a reshot by Alvarez. And it wasn't just when he was prompted by Tucker. Alvarez took his shots throughout the match as well. I mean, I thought he wrestled really well. You know, he was staying low, went for a few low singles. I thought it was really, really smart the way he wrestled offensively. He just wasn't successful. He just didn't close it at all. But I thought it was really, really smart. But let's go back to Alvarez's defense. I mean, the scrambling, I saw
especially
that. I mean,
the early takedown attempt from Tucker where he had him deep and then Alvarez is basically whizzering with his shoulder and his arm, and Tucker almost had him on his butt, and Alvarez somehow, I don't know how he rolled backwards and over and through, and all of a sudden he's back out in front facing.
I mean, Kenny Theobald would have been shocked.
Theobald would have been amazing.
Seriously, I've not seen scrambling this proficient here.
In terms of the defensive
scrambling here, this proficient since Kenny Theobald. I mean, really.
We know how impressive Theobald was.
And Theobald was amazing. It was just a solid match all around by Sammy Alvarez. And just to stick with the positives, Aguilar wrestled really, really well at 125. But really, the most impressive offensive wrestler today was by far Billy Jansen.
Oh, without a doubt.
I mean, I literally looked down as soon as the match started just to see where his
Take
opponent,
down off the whistle.
Lowe, was from. He ends up that his opponent Lowe, who was 19th ranked, sort of New York. And by the time I looked back up, he was already a takedown.
It's unbelievable. Just the positives here tonight. I mean,
and it was in succession, just
of course.
one right after another.
It didn't stop.
Amazing.
So yeah, Aguilar gets a big win, obviously in the first half. Rutgers reeled off 4 straight wins in the second half with Grello, nice bounce back win for him. Pagano was dominant against, of course, Cornell's backup at 97 because Ben Darmstadt is hurt. Alex Esposito in a backup role for the injured Christian Colucci looked pretty good. I know he had to end up getting a pin at the end in order to win the match for Rutgers, but he did win. Big win for him individually. But just to quickly wrap up things here, and we'll finish with Janser right here. You know, he got very solid takedowns all night. I mean, I said on the broadcast that he perfected it, but I can't say perfected because nobody's perfect unless you are Olympic gold medalist, of course. But Billy Janser has made that nice transition from high school to redshirt freshman in the varsity lineup with his upper body attacks. We knew that coming in. That's his bread and butter. It is so fluid and smooth now, where he gets those inside trips, he gets guys out of positions, he gets the pass bys. I mean, this is like Nick Gravina on steroids right now in terms of those pass bys.
And I mean, his pass bys are wonderful, right? He's very good at upper body, but I think what's more impressive to me is the fact that, and this is impressive to begin with, but especially considering he's just a redshirt freshman, is that he could score from every angle, right? I mean, there are wrestlers...
it's not just the right side or the left side. He is going up the middle, side to side, getting guys out of position no matter where they are.
There's kids who win national championships that could only shoot to one side, right? I mean, they also could do things the other side, but, I mean, they're going to go to one side.
He doesn't have a dominant side, it looks like.
Right now, it looks like he doesn't have a dominant side. I'm sure he does, but he could score from any angle, and that's something that's really, really impressive. He has unlimited potential right now.
Without a doubt, he's one of the hottest wrestlers on the team, along with Sammy Alvarez. That's going to do it for Mike and myself. Rutgers faces Penn State on Sunday at 5 o'clock. Once again, Rutgers loses to Cornell here tonight, 18-16. Rutgers still ranked 22 in terms of the coaches poll. They should stay in that coaches poll even with a loss against Penn State on Sunday. And, of course, they're back here at the rack next Friday and Sunday against Indiana and Purdue. For Mike Antosiewicz, I'm Nick Kosko saying so long. We'll see you next Friday night at the rack when Rutgers takes on Indiana.